Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico from the Creativity Cave, and I have two fabulous projects to share with you today. They feature two pretty different sets, the Free as a Bird, actually I'm going to use the bundle, as well as the Snowfront stamp set, and they're both really cool cards, but totally different. Now, the reason I chose these two stamp sets is they are both from my online classes that are happening this month, and you can still register for them. All the information will be in the description of this video, so just click see more and you'll be able to get more information about them. So let's get started because I'm really excited about these cards, and I think you're going to be as well. So first of all, I'm going to tell you the first card is a little messy. Just be aware, but it's all going to be worth it. So we are going to start with a 3.5 by 3-inch piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use that Snowfront stamp set and some black ink. I'm going to do the, excuse me, the technique called the Northern Lights technique, and I learned this technique from a fellow demonstrator named Kathleen recently. She had posted a little video clip of a similar card she had made, and I kind of changed mine up a little bit and put my own kind of spin on it. So I'm going to start by stamping the mountains on here, and isn't that cool looking? I'll add a little bit of kind of ground at the bottom like that, and then we're going to fill in with some trees. So I've got the nice tall tree here, and it doesn't matter so much like where everything is. Don't worry about that. The placement is not critical at all. I just want to fill this in a little bit with some stuff. And maybe we'll put one more tree back there, and I think this is probably pretty good for now. Okay, now the other thing that I want to do is add some color. So I'm going to start with some light colors, and then we're going to finish it up with dark colors. So I've got Coastal Cabana. You may recall this as the color that lets us know God loves us. And I'm just going to sponge some of that color on here, kind of blotchy like this. But I'm just getting the color on like so. Then I'm going to go with Highland Heather. I will tell you, I experimented with some Gorgeous Grape and did not like how it came out. I will also tell you that I have been using my makeup sponges recently quite a bit and found that that actually isn't ideal for this technique because the color goes on really, I don't want to say perfect, but like it's too smooth. And it's kind of nice to have some of the streaks and lines and whatnot in it, especially in this next part. So that's where sponges actually do come in quite handy. Now I'm going to take my Night of Navy, and this is where you get a little inky, but I'm going to go ahead and really get a lot of ink on here. I'm going to focus on the bottom especially, so you can see I'm swirling it on. And you can also see that I'm getting kind of streaky lines. Don't worry, we're going to put a ton of color down, so it won't matter. All right, so I've got a lot of ink there. And then I'm going to be a little bit more kind of letting some of this color just be in the center. Okay, and then you'll see, so I'm just kind of swirling it around. Okay, and now, because the Northern Lights are usually really streaky, I'm going to kind of go lightly at a diagonal line and start just doing some lines. Now, you can get carried away with this, okay? So I'm just going to lightly draw some lines down. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the look. So do you see it? There's streaks in there, and that's kind of the look I'm going for. Now I'm going to come back in and really put a bunch more color at the top because this is a night scene and we want it to definitely look like that. Okay, so from that white piece of paper, this is what we've got. Okay, now I'm going to also take and kind of add a little interest by using my white chalk marker. I haven't actually played with this in a while, so it was kind of fun to get it back out. And I'm just going to put a bunch of dots in the sky like stars, of course. So they're not, they're pretty random. Okay, and then I'm also going to do just a little bit on the mountain on the one side, like a snow line on the mountain. Okay, and I'll kind of go over that a couple of times just to get really good coverage, like so. I don't want to get rid of the whole outline, but I want to get a little on there just to kind of highlight things. Okay, and that looks pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna add one more tree because all of a sudden this mountain just like falls off. So we're gonna add one more tree, you know, like that. Oh, much better. Okay. There we go. Now, I love the look of this. So I'm going to adhere it to a piece of black cardstock that is 3 1/8 by 3 5/8 inches. And then I'm going to really make it fancy because I have die cut 2 polar bears. These coordinate with the Still Scenes, the snow globe dies. I've die cut 2 polar bears out of some shimmer glimmer paper, and I'm going to pop those up onto my card, of course, because you know I love to pop stuff up. All right. Let me grab my scissors and get just a little edge piece for my baby polar bear. So sweet. Now, this is a great Christmas card, but it could totally be just a thank you card or just an anytime card, a winter card, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so I'm just going to put my 2 little polar bears on there, and isn't that just the sweetest? Oh my gosh. Okay, now to finish this up, I'm just going to make a real simple card base. I've got Knight of Navy here. And then I am going to I wanted to make it just a little fancy. You know, most of the good stuff is in the, the stamping and sponging that we did. But I'm just going to take and add some of this beautiful ribbon. This is the black satin ribbon. And I'm just going to go around my card like so. My scissors, sorry. And give it a snip. And then we'll put it onto our card. And then we'll hide, of course, the gap with our stamped image. Okay? So that looks good. And then we're just going to pop this up over the top. Isn't that a pretty looking card? Oh. So I love this. I've done this technique before, but this was, I guess, a little bit more simplified. You know, I don't like getting dirty, so I sort of don't do all this sponging too often, but I just loved the way this looked. It's so pretty. So there we go. Isn't that awesome? All right, now I've got another card. So for this card, we're going to completely change gears. And we're going to use that Free as a Bird bundle that I mentioned. Now, this stamp set, first of all, I got to tell you, birds are so not my thing. And you'll laugh because this card is not actually a bird card, but I love the parts and pieces that go with this. The printed paper is stunning, okay? So, in my Creativity to Go kit, you get a goodie bag, and your goodie bag is valued at over $35 this month. And you're going to get this amazing tin that contains, I don't even know, like 12 cards. I'm not sure how many there are in here. 12 of these laser cut cards and then envelopes. And we're going to make 8 of them. And then I'm leaving you with a few extras so you can play. So here's a card idea for what you could do with one of the extras. Okay, so let me show you what I've got here because I've kind of pre-done a little bit of it. But I've taken one of the cards and I cut a piece of 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 Saffron cardstock. And so it's just a teensy bit smaller than the card itself. Okay, now I'm going to adhere this to my card a really simple way. I'll take some snail and just draw a couple lines in here. Now I'm going to cover this part up, but now that paper is stuck inside my card, so I'm good to go. Okay. And then what I did is I took and die cut 3 of the labels that come with the nested labels dies, which by the way are one of my favorite set of dies. I love these labels. They die cut really easily. They pop out of the dies really nicely, and they're just a great shape. So I've got the largest one and then 2 smaller ones. I skipped a couple sizes. This isn't quite the smallest, but it's maybe the 3rd to smallest. And then the next bigger one, and then the largest. Okay, so one of the things that's great about this stamp set are the fabulous sentiments that come in the stamp set. So I've got several sentiments here. Sorry, I was getting a fuzz off of that one. I am thinking I'm going to use this one, which is "The world needs more of you." All right, and we're going to ink that up with some black ink. And then what we're going to do is stamp some of the little flowers that come in this stamp set. Oh, and wouldn't you know, I just goobered that, but that's okay. We're going to go with it. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. And then, like I said, I have stamped and fussy cut out these pieces. It was really pretty easy to cut them out, but let me show you how I colored them. So that I did this ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me do it now, All right, so I'm going to use 3 sets of blends. I've got the Saffron combos, the Calypso coral combos, and then the old olive combos. So for that, I'm just going to start with, I always like starting with my darkest color here. I'm going to do a little coloring on the leaves. And because this is kind of just a sketchy image, I'm not coloring super perfectly on here. I'm just sort of coloring them in, and then I can just go over this whole thing. I like having some darker areas, some lighter areas. I'm not doing a ton of shading on the leaf, at least. I'll show you a little better coloring on the rest. Okay, so there's that. Then I'm going to do one of these leaves in Calypso coral. So I'm going to start with the dark, then I'm going to color in the center, and then do you see how there's like shading lines along the side of each of these? I'm going to go up along the side of each with my dark color. Then I'm going to come in with my light color and do a little shading. All right, so I want to blend that out. So I'm going to color in and really pay attention to the edges to blend those colors so they look really nice. And then I get some great results. So pretty. Also, I noticed my Saffron marker kind of smelled good. I don't know if it's just me or what. But there is my beautiful flower. Okay? And ooh, I really soaked into that one. So, woohoo. All right. Now, let's put this together and arrange it. So I've got everything colored. I've got one more of these flowers. We could quick do that in some Saffron. So I did the dark color. We'll do the light color on top. And then a touch of green. This is the light old olive. Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's put this all together. So first of all, I'm going to adhere this label right over the top where I have done the adhesive below. So it just kind of holds everything together right there. So pretty. Okay, then I'm going to add this layer popped up on top. Just do a couple of dimensionals on here. And then the sentiment layer, and I kind of have this, I guess, a little bit off to the side. Then the sentiment layer is going to be popped up on top. Okay, so I've got some nice dimension in my card here. All right, next up, I'm going to kind of tuck in some of these beautiful leaves. I'm just going to get that a little bit straighter with some glue dots. So I'll tuck, actually, I want to add my little flowers first. So I'm just going to kind of space these around. You know what? I like to sort of set them where I want them before I glue them in permanently. And that way, like, I know I have a glue dot on that, but that way I can get them exactly where I want them, and I can move them around if I'm not super happy. Okay, so those are just, oh, so pretty, 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 pretty. Love, love, love. So put that right there. And maybe add one more leaf right here. Or that was a flower. And a leaf right there. So kind of whatever floats your boat. Okay. So I think I'm going to take and stick that dot right there. We'll tuck this in down here. I feel like there's a really big gap there, so between heights. So to kind of solve that, I'm just going to put this flower in here on one level of dimensional, and then that will kind of take up that gap. Does that make sense? So it's not up quite so high. Now, of course, I have tons of inspiration. So normally on my Creativity to Go kits, you get 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs, but I give you an alternative. So it's really 8 cards for each design. And this time you're going to get the 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs with alternatives, but you're also going to get the gorgeous, and I do mean gorgeous, tin of cards, and I give you 8 different cards. They're really pretty. And I've got this on one dimensional too. So now you can see it's not such a huge gap between them in terms of size. So anyway, that Creativity to Go kit is kind of supersized this month. It is so amazing, if you ask me, I think. And you really are not going to want to miss this one because the cards are gorgeous. And like I said, I'm not even a bird person, but I really liked the cards. Okay, so we've got that. And you know what? I feel like there's kind of a need for one more flower, and I thought I had another flower here somewhere. Oh, didn't I? Maybe not. I wonder if I have one more cut. Oh, I do. Yay. I love it when I have them cut out already. Thank goodness I kind of cut out a bunch of these. We're going to color up one more flower quick. I swear I had one colored like this, but that's fine. Oh, I did. It's right there. But we need to just add something. There's like an empty spot right there. We need to fill that in. And then we're going to do just a little embellishing with this. And add this in. Okay, but isn't this so beautiful, you guys? Oh my gosh, I just love it. Tuck that in right there. Actually, I'm going to tuck it in behind this bud. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's really filling it out nicely. All right. My husband is in my office, and I know he's already got about 3. That's what she says going in his brain. Okay.
Because it's so gorgeous.
All right, so I'm going to take and add some of these little pearls to my kit, and look at that. It just adds a nice little touch on all of these, and then I'm going to do one more little tidbit. So with your class packets, whether you do the Creativity to Go kit for this set or the Snowfront online class, you'll get lots of additional card ideas to inspire you along with your class projects. There's videos for everything, of course. Now I've got my Clear Wink of Stella here. I'm giving it just a little squeeze because it was kind of dry. Maybe it is kind of dry. One of these is almost dead. I think it might be that one. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to do a little spritzing on this. So for this, I'm just going to take and smack this against something. I'm just going to use my pick your tool here in this case. And then what happens is you get little sprinkles of shimmer on here. And it's beautiful. Okay, so now when you pick that up, I don't know if my camera is catching it, but there's all kinds of little shimmer droplets all over this card, and it's just a little extra pretty. You can also color right on the flowers if you'd like, but this is a really stunning card. Now, in my book, this is the card maybe you would give to the person as the card, and then you give them the tin of cards. So it makes a gorgeous gift. This is something you could save for Mother's Day. You could give right away, whatever. So like I said, all those details are in the description of this video. So I hope you will join us for this class. You will not be disappointed. And I tell you, I don't like birds that much, but man, these cards are amazing. I think you're going to love them. And the printed paper is awesome. So anyway, thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. If you have any questions or would like to get registered for this class, just comment below. And again, the information will be in the description of this video. More details, by the way, are on my blog, and that link is in the description of the video as well. See you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.